Let's bring on board R.S. Jalan, the MD at GHCL, joining in on the show right now. Mr. Jalan, great to have you on the show. Your revenue growth in the inorganic chemical segment grew by about 3% on a sequential basis. Wanted to understand how much of it has come in from volumes and how much of it is the contribution of realizations going up.
See, the volume has gone up by approximately around the 1%, and the balance is because of the realization.
Your margins from inorganic chemical segment have actually shown an improvement. There's also some cost control measures, higher realizations of soda ash, as I understand. How sustainable are these margin levels, though?
According to my understanding, that if you look at the global scenario, you will see that overall global scenarios are very tight in terms of the supply. Last couple of years, no new addition in the production has come in, and the demand has grown, and that's the reason there is a kind of a mismatch between the demand and supply. And this scenario is going to continue at least for next 2 to 3 years. However, some debottlenecking will happen over a period of time, but up to 26-27, there is no new capacities coming in, and therefore this tightness will continue.
Mr. Jalan, good morning. Nikunj also joining in. My question is that why is soda ash in this kind of an uptrend? After all, it is a commodity, which is, and commodity demand is a function of global demand and underlying commodity trends. But soda ash from last couple of years has moved, or soda ash prices have moved higher irrespective of what is happening to the real world.
See, Nikunj, first and foremost, soda ash does not behave the way the other commodities has been behaving over a period of time. If I can give you the data of last 15 years, you will find that the soda ash prices has always been on the upward trend. Almost in the last 15 years, approximately around 5 to 6% on an average, the price has gone up. Except in some short period of time, and now in the COVID period, some drop was there. Otherwise, soda ash prices have always been. We have done a correlation with the other chemical, and the volatility in the soda ash prices has always been very, very minimal. So, and that is primarily because of the overall, what we have seen is supply is always followed by the demand. It is not other way around. And the demand in the soda ash has been very consistent. And let me add one more thing. The way we look at the next few years, you know that everybody in the world is talking about the green energy. And one of the major raw material for the solar panel is going to be the soda ash. So we are seeing from now onwards till 2020, the volume of the soda ash will go up globally. I'm talking about from 63 million to approximately around 80 million. So that means you're talking about 17 million of the extra volume requirement in the global space. Out of that, whatever the announcement till now which has happened, nothing will come up to 26-27 in any case, barring the debottlenecking. So any new investment which will see the day of light will be after 27. So till that time, the situation of the tightness will continue.
Kind of margins what you've enjoyed and the visibility what you have on soda ash, which is a mainstay for GHCL, you see this kind of invisibility for next 3 to 4 quarters?
Yeah, Nikunj, except some, and this is what I would like to highlight, China is a major player in the soda ash business. However, there are some dynamics which have changed over a period of time. China is almost around 40% of the global production and the demand. Any small blip which happens in the China, some short-term impact may happen in the on the quarterly numbers. However, China, as per our understanding, China is gradually exiting from the global trade of the soda ash. And they will be focusing only on their requirement, internal requirement. And that's the reason last couple of years, no new major investment has happened in China. So now, as you know, in China, the construction industry is facing some headwind. And because of that, some small blip can happen on means in next 1 or 2 quarters. However, long term, or maybe if you are talking about 3-4 quarters, maybe the next quarter could be better, or maybe after 15 days also the situation could improve.
demand
But
side.
overall, like I said,
Now let's understand where the positioning of GHCL is. Your capacity has kicked in, your debt has come down. So next 2-3 quarters, are you going to be disproportionate beneficiary of new capacity, advantage on pricing, and financial leverage kicking in because of low debt? I mean, if in Hindi, if I may say, अभी सोने पे सुहागा होने वाला है.
Nikunj, you are right. अगर मैं आपकी, if I can say so, that yes, definitely we are getting that advantage because of the three reasons, as you very rightly said. We are on the peak of our capacity. The prices are firm and going to continue to be the firm. And deleveraging also, as you rightly said. We are almost a debt-free company. Maybe in March 23, you'll find that we are a cash surplus company. And
Good
one more
morning.
thing,
We've
Nikunj, I
talked
want to
about.
highlight. Sorry.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
One thing also I would like to highlight is that I think we are the first person in India where we are moving ahead on our new greenfield new greenfield project. We are almost acquired or 80% of the land requirement. Our public hearing has been completed. I think next year onwards we'll be kicking in on our physical activity on that site, and hopefully next 2.5 years probably the new 500,000 production will come into the business.
Okay. So thank you for that update as well. I also wanted to talk to you about the other business of yours, which is, of course, textiles. There is a sluggish demand that has been seen. How do you see this panning out?
See, you're right. If you look at the textile in last, probably I would say, barring this last quarter, it was on uptrend for almost around 18 months. And maybe because of the COVID and pent-up demand, and this kind of a cycle of another 6 months could be possible to be seen. But next year, 23-24 is going to be much better for the textile industry. And that is primarily because of destocking in the US is happening. And of course, some slowdown of the recession fear is there. But the other thing which is again very important is the raw material prices have softened. Because you remember last year, the cotton price was reached to the level of around 100,000 rupees per candy. Now it has come down to around 65,000 rupees. So probably that will also help the textile industry. And so far as the GSL is concerned, two things I just want to highlight. One, we are 80%, approximately currently around 65 to 70%, but we are moving towards the 80-85% of our green energy, where the power will be cost will be almost like a flat. And the second is that we have moved away from a commodity space to the value-added space, and that will also help. And we have also added 20% of our capacity, which is going to be started in the next quarter. So that all these things will help us in 23-24 to boost up our profitability on the spinning side.
And the demerger of the spinning side of the business that had been talked about?
Yeah,
Any update on that?
Yeah, the demerger has been approved by the shareholders and the lenders, and now it is matter is pending with the NCLT, and that will be probably 28th of December is the date. Hopefully that will get an approval from the NCLT on 20th of December, and after that in a month kind of a demerger will take place, and after that whatever the process is required for the delisting, that listing of the textile business, that will happen.
The main component for soda ash manufacturing is coal. Coal prices are still much higher than where they were, let's say, in last 1 year. If coal prices stay where they are, what happens to your margins? And if coal prices come down, what happens to your margins?
First and foremost, Nikunj, the coal prices has softened a little bit in the last, I would say, 1.5 to 2 months time. And this margin, what you are seeing is on the prices which is currently prevalent in the market. Any drop in the coal prices will definitely be beneficial to the producers.
Wrap it up. I'm going to take a leap from your answer that you will be cash surplus, which means you will be debt free, let's say, by this end of this financial year. GHCL historically has followed a high dividend policy. They've been giving a lot of dividend out. So will you increase your dividend if your cash flows are increasing? Would you be considering a buyback like you've done a couple of years ago?
Yeah, Nikunj, two things. One, we have already done 2 buybacks, and we will continue to have that journey. We are restrained at this point of a time because of this demerger is pending in the court of law. Once that gets clear, then definitely that will be one of the agenda which we will be putting to our board. Similarly, on the dividend side, last year we have given around 150% of the dividend, and we have a very clear-cut dividend policy where we have stated that 15 to 20% of the earned profit will be given to the shareholders. So that policy will continue to have, and obviously the profitability goes up. That means the dividend will go up.
Okay, great to have you on the show, and thank you so much for highlighting what GHCL's quarter gone by was looking like. Quick